Hello and welcome back to the Girl in Media podcast. This episode looks a whole lot different than our other episodes because I wanted to share something a little bit more personal, a little bit less scripted with you today. You can see I'm miles away from my studio. I'm in the mountains of Colorado for over a week. And due to chronic illness, I haven't been able to record in my studio the way that I hoped. So in this episode today, I actually wanted to share some of the techniques and the tools that I use to manage being a full-time entrepreneur, freelancer, and business owner with a chronic illness that really interrupts my day-to-day life and my months on a regular basis. So this is for my entrepreneur girls, my freelancers, and not so much for my corporate girls. And really it's because a lot of us have chosen to go into freelancing for so many different reasons, right? But one of them is often for flexibility in your schedule. So if that's actually a necessity in your life, how do you build that in a fast-paced environment like many of the digital media fields? Well, I'm going to tell you how I do that today.
Hey girl, welcome to the Girl in Media podcast, where we talk about being a woman in the digital media space. Whether you're an employee, entrepreneur, owner, independent contractor, side hustler, or just looking to learn a little bit more, I want you to come away informed, empowered, and encouraged to do more of what you love. We highlight the stories of women just like you on this podcast, and we hope that it helps you grow in your career and your dreams. Now, let's get into it.
So there are a lot of things that you can do as you're setting up your business infrastructure to make sure that you're set up for success, knowing that you may have unexpected interruptions in your ability to work. The first thing that I do is when I'm deciding whether or not to bring on a client, I'm looking at how do they communicate? What are their expectations? Are they unrealistic in what they're saying right off the bat? Are they not open to building a plan together? If they seem very pushy, very rigid, and just out of touch with the reality of the work that I do and not amenable to the timeline I'm giving them, then they're probably not a good fit. And that brings me into the next very simple thing that I do is I create a timeline for every project. So I let the client know upfront what the expectation is for deliverables, for deadlines. It gives us a point of communication. So if I have a flare-up and I'm not able to work like I expected, I can look at their timeline and say, okay, I'm still going to be all right. I can still stay on track for this, or I can communicate with them ahead of time and let them know, hey, I'm going to have to push this date back. Now, sometimes there are hard and fast dates that you just cannot change. So be careful with those, right? But if I know that really, if Ellie's healthy, it's going to take me a month and a half to do this thing, then I may give myself 2 months. I may give myself 2.5 months. That way I have some buffer time if I do have a flare-up. And then the next tool that I use is I make sure to streamline my communication. So when you're a solopreneur, it's really easy for people to text you, to call you, to email you, to message you on Instagram or Facebook or find you on LinkedIn, and they may send you information when they're thinking of it wherever. I try to put a cap on that as quickly as possible because it's hard to find everything someone sends you if it's in 12 different places, especially if you're stretched thin or you're having a difficult health day, you're already a little bit more fatigued or dealing with some pain. It's impeding your ability to think clearly. It's just better to have one central place for communication. I use HoneyBook, and then I allow my clients to email me as well. Some will still text me, some will still message me on Instagram, and I'll just say, hey, can you also send this to my email? Or, hey, I don't always see my personal messages or know where to find those attachments if you're sending them, so please send it in this way. And they will, because they want their project to get done. Another thing that I try to do is build in space in my schedule. So it's really, really easy as an entrepreneur to want to overschedule yourself and overcommit, and you have all of these creative ideas for yourself as well as clients that you want to take on, and you may end up having a very overpacked schedule. But if every minute of your day is scheduled every single day and you have a flare-up, well, now that's not just 1 or 2 things that are suffering, that's 12 things. So you want to make sure that you're creating breathing room in your schedule for me, that also helps me avoid unexpected flare-ups because I have time for stress management. I have time to decompress. I have time to make sure that I'm getting proper nutrition and proper exercise rather than pushing myself to a further point of sickness when I already have some weaknesses in my body. But honestly, these are tips that an entrepreneur in any stage of life or any state of health can use because they're going to help you manage your time and your business and your clients more smoothly. And you're going to be happier doing it. You're going to find more joy in the business process while you're continuing to do the creative work that you love. So I hope that all of you are in good health. I hope that this finds you well. And I hope that these tools might help you to start thinking about how you can restructure your business to better serve you, your team, and your clients. I'll talk to you soon, right back here on the next episode of Girl in Media.
If you offer services that would benefit women working in any field of digital media, we would love for you to sponsor the show. You can contact us to learn more about sponsorship packages and how you can reach our audience of talented women in tech when you email girlinmediaofficial@gmail.com. We hope to hear from you soon.